What's up, guys? This episode might hit some of you probably as much as it hit me. For most of my life, I believe something that a lot of us are taught that if we want to change our lives, we need more motivation and more discipline. But after years, I realized something. One, motivation is unreliable. I think a lot of us know that. Social media is full of that. But the discipline is exhausting. And the real driver of consistent action, at least to me, as something that I discover, is something that most people don't talk about. Is whether your body feels safe actually doing it. See, there have been times while building my business, podcasts, keynote, coaching, workshops, that I need to do something, whether it's creating content and to post on social media, one of the hard things to do. I'll reach, message followers, and see if I can help them transform their life. Connect with people on LinkedIn, go to networking events. All of these things that I know that it will move the needle, it will help me get a step further in my journey to finding success in what I'm building. And yet I find this intense resistance in my body. It could be seen as laziness, procrastination, avoidance. And many times I just felt frustrated because to me it's like, Daniel, you are, this is what you want, this is your dream, this is your passion, this is your purpose. Then why the heck are we procrastinating? Why the heck are we avoiding the thing? Why the heck are we just postponing everything? So I did what most of us would do. Let's white knuckle, let's lock in, and let's push forward. And at some point I did that for so long that I burned myself out. And in the midst of these transitions, I just couldn't understand what was happening. In fact, actually, I'm recording this episode because I'm avoiding working on my website. I'm avoiding writing scripts for the content on LinkedIn or on Instagram or TikTok. So to me, I'm avoiding those things by recording a podcast. And actually, it is just fascinating how I'm talking about something I'm doing right now to avoid the things I need to do. Sure, I needed to record this episode that is coming out next week, but I could have done that tomorrow or the next day. But I decided to do it today just because I was avoiding working on the website and working on the scripts. And maybe that's part of you. Maybe you find yourself stuck in a rut and you don't understand why. Your brain knows it. You know it consciously. Like, you have to do these things. Most of us know what we need to do. And yet something is happening that it doesn't allow us to move forward. When I started diving deeper into the reasons why this was happening, I realized that it's all about nervous system safety. There's we procrastinate, there's we postpone, or we avoid things. It's because our bodies don't feel safe doing that activity. If exposure is being seen is something that terrifies you, like in my case, posting on social media is going to be, it will require more effort than writing an email. If you're afraid of being rejected because you are attached your self-worth unconsciously to asking for a business or to pitch your business or to ask for the promotion or to ask that person out, you're going to avoid it. Not because you don't have the courage, not because you're weak, not because you're lazy, not because you're lame, but because your body is doing what it was meant to do, to keep you safe and familiar. And we tend to be so frustrated with ourselves, like to a point that we punish ourselves, we shame ourselves. And one thing I come to realize is that it doesn't matter how much we do it. We think that if we are a tyrant, if we run a dictatorship, like here we're going to do what we say we're going to do. And we just white knuckle our way through it and push through because discipline is everything. There are two things that can happen. Either you're going to burn yourself out and you're going to quit because your body will say enough is enough, or you might achieve some level of success, but you're going to be so miserable that you just want to quit it all. And I understand. You have all these people on social media. You have the Alex Ramoses of the world just saying, just push harder. In fact, if you want to be fascinated by something, watch the interview between Alex Ramoses and Tony Robbins. Alex Ramos has been pushing and grinding his own life, but never trying to find some level of balance inside. I'm not saying work life balance like everyone is talking, but inwards. And Alex Ramos realized talking to Tony Robbins made him see how miserable he was. He wasn't happy anymore. And it's not about all happiness, all flowers. Sure, he has all the money in the world and he's pushing harder, and yet he finds himself in a position where there's a level of emptiness. There's a sense of inadequacy. In his case, it's just to prove to someone, maybe his dad or someone else, that he's good enough. To a lot of us, in my case, it's not to prove something to someone. It's that growing up, being seen wasn't safe. When you're bullied a lot, when you're dismissed, when you are belittled, there are things that your nervous system takes that is dangerous. We don't want that. So you avoid the things that you're supposed to do. The good thing, though, is that everything that happens in relation to that has a solution. But the solution, even though it's simple, usually not easy. We need to start asking ourselves, why am I feeling this? Start to getting curious about it. Because there's always a reason why we are avoiding doing something. Always. We're avoiding in a negative emotion. This could be boredom. This could be fear. This could be overwhelmed, helpless, hopeless, anger, whatever the case may be. We are avoid a hard conversation because that might bring shame. We might avoid a hard conversation because that might bring anger. Our bodies are doing everything possible to avoid certain things that put us at a risk, that to us it signals danger. Our bodies were conditioned to survive the wilderness, the lions and the bears and the tigers all over thousands of years ago. But now that nervous system hasn't updated to modern problem. So everything seems like existential danger. So the solution that has helped me is finding out exactly what my body is afraid of. Okay, if I post a content on Instagram or Twitter or TikTok and it doesn't do well, and I feel exposed, and I feel that people are gonna make fun of me, or my friends will think less of me, and then I'll be alone. And if I'm alone, I mean I'll be sad, and then I'll die. See, that's the pattern. Once we understand where all our behaviors are coming from, and I start dissecting, start just going inwards, not in a judgmental way, in a way that feels honest. We need to ask the hard questions, but also we need to be honest the way that we answer them, because that is the doorway to the version of us we want to achieve or we want to get to. Ask yourself, why you postponing asking someone out? Why you're postponing launching your business? Why you're postponing answer that email or set the boundary? Usually there's nothing wrong with you. It's that we are unaware that the resistance is a feature, not a bug. The feature in our system is to identify what is making us feel unsafe. See, James Clear, the author of Atomic Habits, have this great quote, which is, "You don't rise to the level of your goals; you fall to the level of your systems," which is great line and very true. But think about it. You have ChatGPT, you have Claude, you have all these AI tools that can give you the perfect meal plan, the perfect workout routine, the perfect productivity schedule, everything tailored to you. And yet, many of us don't move forward. And what I started doing was to change that quote, change that concept a bit, mostly for myself. Maybe it will help you. The way I changed it was you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your nervous system perceive safety. I'll say that one more time. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your nervous system perceive safety. Because at the end of the day, your body will win. You can force yourself for a few days, a few weeks, maybe a few months. But if it doesn't feel safe, you will eventually fall back into old patterns. The idea is not to push harder. The idea is to ask better questions and understand why this is happening. The idea is to create safety within your body so now things feel effortless. Yes, you're still going to feel some fears when you are at the edge of expansion, at the edge of growth. That's when you know you're growing. But one thing is to feel some fear and step forward. And another thing is having your body freaked out and say, no, this is too much. We are not meant to do this. That shift right there changes absolutely everything. And it takes time. And maybe you're like me, that you identify like 10,000 things you procrastinate on. Pick one, whether the easiest, the medium, the hard, whatever. I would start with the easiest one, or I would start with the one that actually moves the needle and puts you in a better position to achieve the life you want. And start going from there, like a waterfall effect. You start with one, then another, and then another, and then another. And as I'm closing, I want you to reflect on something here. What are you currently avoiding? Not because you're lazy, not because this is just who you are, but because somewhere underneath it doesn't feel safe yet. You're at the doorway, but it's harder for you to step through when your body is pumping the brakes. It's like to try to drive a car when you have the handbrake and your foot on the brake pedals as well. You're not going anywhere. And the moment that you start releasing the brakes, you can start moving forward. So think about it. What are you currently avoiding? Not because there's something wrong with you, not because it's your personality, not because you're not meant to do bigger things, but because somewhere underneath, maybe a few layers deep, or maybe very, very deep, it doesn't feel safe yet. Because at the end of the day, you don't take action when you feel motivated. You take action when you feel safe enough to begin. And that's when everything changes. That's all for today. I hope that this has been helpful and valuable to you. I encourage you to try it and to explore yourself at a deeper level and understand that there's nothing wrong with you. Your brain and body are just running an old operating system. And we have more agency, control, and power on that software. And we can rewrite it and make our life easier without pushing harder. See you next week.